Around 20% of people in New Zealand suffer from irritable bowel syndrome, and while the symptoms may be unpleasant, very little is known about the actual cause of the problem. With it being IBS Awareness Month, Healthy Food Guide nutritionist Claire Turnbull is here with some advice about how to manage the problem. I wonder how you work out in the first place that you actually have it.
Yeah, that's a really important part, because a lot of people just say, I've got bloating, wind or whatever else, I've probably got irritable bowel syndrome. It's really important to get it properly diagnosed, and basically it's diagnosed by a process of elimination. So you need to go to the GP and basically check you don't have celiac disease, you haven't got inflammatory bowel disease. Endometriosis is another thing that often gets missed. So 1 in 10 women have endometriosis, and the symptoms can kind of be misunderstood. So you basically make sure that you've got nothing else going on, and if you've got these other symptoms, which is bloating, cramping, after eating, looking kind of 6 months pregnant, going between constipation and diarrhoea, if you've got those and there isn't another cause, then you'll probably be diagnosed with irritable bowel.
What causes it?
Yeah, well, it's the cause isn't necessarily known, but basically you've got a tube from your mouth that goes into your stomach, small intestine, large intestine out the other end. There's nerves, lots and lots of nerves that go to the small and the large intestine, and basically the messages can get mixed up. So normally things kind of rhythmically go through your bowel, but what can happen is they can go really fast, really slow, and everything gets a little bit confused, which can cause all these symptoms.
I'm confused about we don't know what causes it. We're not sure if we have it until further down the track. So can we do anything to prevent it?
Yeah, well, it's more about managing it. So we know that some things make it worse. So caffeine and alcohol and also high-fat foods can cause an issue for somebody that's got this kind of predisposition to gut issues. And then it's actually about managing stress is a huge part of it. So one of the big reasons why we're probably seeing more people who've got this cramping and gut issues is because your gut is your second brain. And basically...
Really?
Yeah, I mean...
I've got a massive second brain.
I know. It's huge. But
you make up for the other.
It's really important to think about that.
Telling everyone now.
It's very important to understand how the role of the gut. It's so important, and basically we just need to keep that working properly. And because our lives are so stressful and we're not eating great food, it's actually causing irritation and problems for our gut. And one of the ways that that's coming up is people being diagnosed with irritable bowel syndrome.
How do we get rid of it if we know we've got it?
So if someone knows that they've been diagnosed with it, there's avoiding those trigger foods, making sure you're managing stress. But there is one thing that Monash University, which is a university in Australia, have looked at, which is called the low FODMAP diet. And basically it sounds like a fad, but it's not, and we've written a lot about it at Healthy Food Guide. But they have looked at the foods which are trigger foods, particularly things like onions, garlic, sugar-free chewing gum, honey. There's certain foods that basically feed the bacteria in your gut excessively, which cause lots and lots of bloating and gas and pain. So what people have to do is eliminate those foods for a period of time and then reintroduce them to work out what their level of tolerance is. And it's very, very well researched, and it's an incredibly effective way for a lot of people who have irritable bowel syndrome.
So if you work out that those foods are the cause of your issues, you have to eliminate them for good?
No, it's temporarily. So what you need to do is you rest your gut from those foods, but then you need to reintroduce them, and there's a specific protocol to do that, to find out your level of tolerance. And it isn't an elimination diet permanently, and we do need to make sure that people don't do that, because you do need some of those foods to keep your body well nourished. So it's about actually finding the right balance. But there is a lot you can do with irritable bowel syndrome, but don't just brush it under the carpet and say, I've got these kind of symptoms, because you need to make sure it's not anything else more serious. And there's heaps that can be done if you get advice from qualified professionals.
Well, if it's as many people as you said it is, then there'll be a lot of people going, that's me, that's me, that's me. So there you go. There's the answer. You can do something about it.
Definitely you can.
Thank you so much, Claire Turnbull, Healthy Food Guide nutritionist.